Gratitude rises. When recognized, is completion. To be thankful for the flower is to have love for the whole garden. Where is the rose separate from its thorns? Pain only rises when we grasp at what is not only yours. To hold this flower gently is to be open and to not grip tightly. An inner knowing, not yours or mine, but a temporary reflection, always will it be. To be without this, thankfulness, is to argue with the stars. For even they are connected to the garden that gave birth to your precious heart. If this remains unfound, encouraged are you to sit and listen to the inseparable nature between you and everything else. Grateful, not for this or that, only for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you is the most sincere prayer you will ever sing. I feel chills throughout every cell in my body. Do you see this? To argue with your own beauty or to argue with life is to argue with the stars that shine so brightly in the night sky. For this is only a reflection of what you are. All there is to argue with is everything you are not. So what is the point? Let fade that which is not real. Let fall that which is only thought. This gratitude is not a something that is found. This gratitude is seeing that it always has been. See this, my friend. See this. Never are you not in this. Never is this not breathing through you. We only confuse ourselves because we look for that which is not, obstructing our vision, blinding us to what is. This is the only issue. And the mind wants to argue, but what about, but what about, but what about? Where is that right now? Where is all of that in that which is real, here, this moment? The but what about is looking for yourself. Clawing back towards the future. Running as fast as you can towards the future. And yet all of this In the stillness, in the silence of this moment, it cannot be found. So after last sad song yesterday, it was kind of the fire. To see, holy shit, only I have denied what I am. Only I have said no. Only I have believed that I'm not enough. And then we were invited to stop speaking and to go for a walk among the trees, to be touched by the wind, to be kissed by nature, and to hear her secrets. As we confessed all of the self-denial, as we acknowledged all of the hidden pain, and we admitted to the deepest part of what we are that we have no clue what we're doing. The great emptying out, the great letting go of the pretending. For myself in this time, there was this recognition again screaming from the pit of my stomach. This acknowledgement that saw so clearly, how could I ever deny what I am? Even though I will again, even though doubt will come, but to see it so clearly that this is why I'm here. How could I question this? To deny such beauty is absolute absurdity. And as it plays out in its form in my world, the idea that I might stop sharing. Are you fucking kidding me? Those moments when I wonder, should I just give up now? Should I just go back to the way it was and please other people? Build up my box of imagined security? And then I remember all those times where I felt like dying because there was something inside of me that wanted to breathe. And this one that was begging for life was not who I thought I was, but it was what I am. And so to see so clearly that it is not even a question, it is not even an option. Forever, this is where my heart is. And yes, I see the movement of the mind. Every afterthought divided 10,000 times. Searching for an argument. Searching for some sensibility. my perceivably foolish ways of disregarding all other than this. Nothing was found, only silence. For everything has collapsed. All that remains is the truth of this joy, the truth of this love, all of which is seen as not mine as a separate someone, but seen as this breath that is forced through my being. And if I restrict it, if I attempt to hold the in-breath and claim it as my own, I will die. And so this gratitude is not for the in-breath and is not for the out-breath, but it is for the one breath that we all share. It is for this side and that side, for it all allows us to be. And what I notice that through this human experience, regardless of what shows itself, undoubtedly I am held through it all. Knowing that when tomorrow comes and this shows its face once again, as it always will, even still, I'm held. Life says, I understand. Yeah, there's lots coming up. Life says, this is the process. This is what you've asked for. To see this. You have asked to see the ways in which you withhold love from what you are. And so rest here while I hold you. Rest so that you might see that all of this denied love is simply a mental fantasy. But my love, you must see this. You must allow it to be touched by light, or forever will remain this darkness. A darkness that comforts the hiding one. A darkness that protects an insecurity. Only because it believes in the idea that there's something real to fear. So thank you, thank you, thank you that there is this play of the dark. For without it, the light would have simply nowhere to expand. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that which is unseen, so that I might see. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the nighttime that closes out each day, so that I might start again. Thank you for the stress, the anxiety. Thank you for the trepidation, the fear, for they all point to that which has been denied. And I see clearly that I cannot run from this, because it only returns. It only rises once again, just like the sun every morning, and just like the moon in the evening. Forever light and dark will dance. No longer do I need to pretend that this is not the way of things. I can release myself to this. I recognize this warrior within what I am. And equally so inside this one, the child who is terrified. Both playing their part. A dance that exposes the truth. And so I love them equally. I let them be what they are. When there is a battle, I will fight. When I walk through the forest, I will keep quiet. I will allow. Because forever I am in love. This love holds all of this. Even though we pretend that this is a choice to be made, you can see quite clearly it's not a choice. When you come to satsang and see these things, you see it's already happening. And you see how you're simply resisting it. Do not come around here looking for jewels that are already shining. For every diamond that shines has been pressed beyond everything that it thought it could be, held beyond everything that it thought it could bear. Through this fire, this process, the diamond sees what it has always been, not what it becomes. The diamond has always been life dancing. And so I can promise you that as we wrap up this retreat, the fire does not end. And the only thing that makes it more difficult than it needs to be is you running away from it. And the only thing that resolves this fear is you standing and staring at the fire and letting life push you in so that you can see that the fire can't even touch you. Until this time, it would only be an idea that it won't touch you, which might sound nice. But when you're thirsty, when you're hungry, staring at a menu will do nothing. Thinking about a glass of water will do nothing. And so you can continue to starve yourself by imagining wonderful ideas. But sooner or later, and maybe that time is now, you will see that this is nothing. That what you really crave, what your soul is really hungry for, is the realness of what you are. The realness of this fire, the realness of this light, and the exposing of all that is dark. And as you continue to deny if that's what you're doing, you will become so incredibly weak, convinced of your own powerlessness, and in this weakness you will surrender every image of food. And you will begin feeding on the scraps of anything that you can find, any sense of realness, to gather just a little bit of strength, discarding the facade, discarding the attempt to please others. And little by little, you start to be more and more honest with yourself. And this honesty, slowly but surely, builds your strength. Acknowledging the truth of what you are. Until one day you are ready to feast on this. On the realness. As you have sacrificed all that is unreal. You have put up on the cross, stabbed with a spear, and buried the flesh of who you think you are. Only to be reborn. And that time is now. That time will always be now. So why delay? Only because it is believed that there is something other than this? And if there is a belief that there is something other than this, I say with all your heart, go and find it. Go and get approved of. Go and get your life together. So that you can see for yourself, even that is not real. Exhaust yourself in this world until the world collapses. Until you see that there is nothing in this world for the realness of what you are. Until you recognize there is nowhere for you to lay your head at night. There is nowhere for you to truly rest. There is only the truth. There is only the realness. For every man that is thirsty, let him come and drink, but yet he won't. Because he is preoccupied with an imaginary sense of self-importance, holding together his dream. You see how free this is? An abundant supply. Look up at the night sky. Drop everything you think you know. Impossible is this not to see? Stop looking outside of yourself. Stop talking about other people. Stop thinking you are right and others are wrong. Remain as the one. Within you, the freedom to extend freedom to all of life. Do not deny this. If you're going to freak out, then freak out. Do not deny this. Do not withhold. Be real. Be raw. Fuck any idea of spirituality. Fuck any idea of the right way to do it. And just be honest. If you're afraid, acknowledge you're afraid. Don't pretend. If you're worried, don't worry about your worry. Let it be. See that even this is already held. Notice that everything you are feeling is observed. You are watching it. You are holding space for it. This is the healing, that it might be held. The instrument of you is the space holder for life, allowing all to emerge so that it might be unified with love. And if love is not seen, then acknowledge that love is not seen, which will only open you up to see what is real. Do not pretend to see love when love is not seen. As I was working this morning on the couch, doing whatever it is that life does through these fingertips, writing, exposing beauty, sharing love, Yvonne brought me a little cup of coffee. Immediately I realized that the service in this tiny act, was then transfused into the love being shared. This little service, this small nothing, was part of the love. And so what is seen as a separate someone doing something is not a separate someone, it's all of life. Everything working together to expose the beauty. And of course, so easy it is to be oblivious to this, that the smallest movement, the forgetting of oneself to be in service, contributes to the rising of the sun. Contributes to every mother loving their child. Contributes to every act of compassion. This is serving the one I am. Not trying to serve through who I think I am. Not trying to build up an idea of someone who's doing something. But to give oneself over to the smallest act. To forget what one thinks they need in tomorrow. And to love right now. So preoccupied we are, so restricted we become. Such blockages emerge as we think there is some sort of confusion about the unknown of tomorrow. That we can't love right now because we have to figure this shit out. And all the while, in this moment, we remain restricted, continuing with a frequency and a vibration that tells life we are separate, as we wait for tomorrow, as we wait for all of our thoughts to line up perfectly. How absurd is this? When life, the simpleness, is simply an inviting a space of being in service. We wake up in the morning so full of ideas, what we think should happen, what we think we want to happen. More thought, more images, more items on the menu. As we starve ourselves. Is it becoming clear why you are here? Do you see that it has nothing to do with who you think you are? It has everything to do with the sincerity of right now. You see, this movement of faith, trusting in the unseen, because it is seen within. It is not needed to be seen without. And so you simply take one step, even though the next step doesn't yet show itself. The one who waits for all of the steps to appear is the one that takes no steps at all. Only bothered by the idea that you might not get what you think you're going to get out of it, as if there's someone that's going to receive something that they are separate from, as if they are not already everything. How silly. And adorable at the same time. So cute. Aw, you think you're gonna get something. That's cute. As if you're not already with that. You receive in this life what you give. It happens at the same time. There is no past and future in this. There is the present moment, eternal, infinite. When you give what you are, you receive what you are. If you withhold what you are, you withhold what you are. This is the suffering. And we wonder why. Why am I suffering? as I pretend to not know what to do. Stop trying to love an idea of yourself. Get over it. There is no self that is without love. To even question it is absurd. You want to feel the love you crave so desperately? Share that shit. Offer your life in service to this. You want to feel love? Let it flow from the depth of your being. Recognize every idea that attempts to explain a reason why love should be withheld is bullshit. It's an idea that attempts to protect you what you're afraid of. It's an idea that attempts to hide the imagined self's insecurity. And drop it. Acknowledge the unreality of this. And then move. Yeah, it'll probably come back around. So what? It doesn't make it any more true. It's not going to be true tomorrow if it's not true right now. For what is true is what is true. Eternally. This is why you can trust the truth, even if it is forgotten. You drop into this. You feel it. You see it. You see that it is not an idea. It is not a belief. It is not a dogma. It is the foundation of everything that is. It is seen in every flower. It is seen in every bird. It is seen everywhere. And when you see it like this, you can know from the depth of your heart that you can trust this. Even if the mind gets cloudy. Because you recognize that clouds might pass in front of the sun, but somewhere the sun is still shining. Even as nighttime comes, there is a knowing. The sun is still there. I'm simply behind its shadow. It will emerge. It has to. If I am here, if I am alive, if I am breathing, the sun will show itself. For when the light truly disappears, when that star explodes, I will not be here. So while I am here, I will trust. And the mind says, but how do I make changes? How do I transition? This is the wrong question. A more appropriate question. Because when you see what is true, that you're killing yourself doing what you're doing, that is totally out of alignment with the sincerity of your heart. It doesn't fucking matter how it's gonna work. It's irrelevant. You see, this question of how do I do it is a safety mechanism. Imagine you're drowning in the ocean. There's people on the beach. You're like, how do I swim? What's the technique? Is my form okay? You figure that shit out. There's no question. When you're drowning, there's no thought. You let life take over. And you say, I am going to survive. And if you don't figure that out, you die. So the question is, are you even willing to fight? And do you notice in that point when you recognize that you're drowning, many don't even realize they're drowning, and they are. The most important thing in your entire world in that moment is learning how to swim. You're not thinking about your plans for next week. You're not thinking about the plans for the rest of your life. You drop all of that immediately. It disappears. When you're drowning, the question, what is it? What if it doesn't work out, is irrelevant. See, the question doesn't even arise. It's not an option. There's not this pondering, if I don't start kicking my legs, no, you kick your legs as if your life depended on it. You start throwing shit away that offers you nothing. What the fuck am I doing with all of this? Building up treasures on earth as if they define who I am. Afraid of losing this. You can either surrender it now or let life rip it away from you. And if you surrender it right now, you can begin actually living. And understand that in whatever service, whatever movement, the only thing you serve is the one. If you think it is anything other than that, you will wait to get something in return. And even that idea will never show up. You think you're doing something for someone else? Wake up. You think you're loving someone for someone else? There's only the one. When you see this, you recognize that you need absolutely nothing from anything that is imagined to be separate. You release everything. I am whole. I am complete. I am in need of nothing. For this moment, that which is real and true, in this moment, beyond what my mind thinks I need or want, I have this breath. I have this sight, this ability to perceive, even if it is in the night. Even if all of the colors are hidden. And when I am without this breath, when it is released for the last time, then and only then, I will be done. And it will come in its perfect time. And until that moment, I will honor this breath that I am given in service to the one that allows me to be. This life is not my own. It is a gift. It is not here so that I can build imaginary ideas about myself. It is here to be lived, so that love might be seen, so that the truth will emerge, so that all beings might see what they are more clearly. For what else might the point be, other than for life to see life? For the truth to see the truth, for the real to experience the real. The invitation is as such, that life invites one to give up everything in service to this. And only you know in which way that wants to move. It's that which resonates. It's that which makes you come alive. It's that which excites your soul, having nothing to do with a sense of self-importance. And an excited ego is an agitation, because it knows it will be lost, and so it looks to fight to hold on to it. An excited soul is one that wants to give everything over to life, holding on to nothing because it sees love as infinite. An excited soul sees the truth of being, that all is one, so whatever is given is received, so anything can come and anything can go. It is only a fearful mind which withholds. I'm looking for a poem that I'd like to share with you. And we will end with this. Let life make love to you. To live joyfully requires an intimacy, a dance that depends on a willingness to rest in now completely. Intimacy, wholeness of beauty, seen in every breath with no judgment toward the inadequacy. To surrender all doubt and fall within the arms of everything. To give over the fear that somehow you're not worthy to be here. Life is making love to you, and yet you push away, saying right now you aren't ready, as if who you are isn't okay. Life is a lover on constant standby, waiting for you to love what you are, wanting to please you to the point of joyful ecstasy. However, you refuse to undress and stand naked with your open heart. Life doesn't fucking care about the ugly you think is you. Life isn't comparing to some other or the invisible distant few. Don't you see? You only judge yourself. All the things you don't like, life wants to kiss them, inside and out. Stretch marks and all, emotional scars and walls. You are so beautiful to life. Wake up to this. Put an end to the silly withdrawal. Fall into the joy and pleasure of making sweet, innocent love to the all of all. Give up. Surrender. Live this life fully while you dance your ass off. It's been an absolute pleasure and joy to share with this one that I am during this 9-day Italy retreat. My prayer, very, very, very simply, is that you see what is about what you are. Understand everything you have heard, everything you have experienced, everything that you think has touched you, everything you think that has held you, is that inside of you that has always been there. No one has given you anything. No one has told you what or what not to do. You have simply been allowed to be. And in this, you discover an undeniable freedom to be you. Aloha and cheers to the beauty that you already are. Thank you, thank you, thank you.